Good morning. I am Melissa Daniels. So I think that it's working because it says there's a couple people here. So hopefully this works. If not, the replay will be available so you can watch it later if needed. Um, uh-oh. Okay. Well, that's good. I now know that my sound is working because it popped up on another browser. Okay. So today I'm going to be talking to you all about strabismus. So how I have any authority on this is that I have strabismus, and for the last 3 years, I've been doing vision therapy, surgery, and a lot of different things trying to figure out how to fix the strabismus that I have. I'm not a doctor, so I can't like diagnose or anything like that, but I can give, you know, strabismus according to Melissa. I definitely have a lot of theories on this. So today I'm going to start and go through basically what strabismus is and how you can fix it. The basic overview, right? This is like a 3-year process for me. So it's not something that you can do in a 15-minute video. Then I'm going to open it up for a question and answer. So if you have any questions, you can start putting them in the chat right now, and then I will get to them at that point. And then at the end, I'm going to talk about consults that I'm offering and how you can sign up for them. So if you're not interested in that part, you can just sign off at that point. Or if you're interested, you can keep on listening. Okay, so let's get into my favorite subject to talk about. I could literally talk about strabismus all day long. So strabismus is when your eyes don't point in the same direction, right? So when I could go out, that would be exotropia. When I could go in, esotropia, hypertropia, did I say hypotropia. Um, all of them, they all have their different nuances and differences, but that's the basic idea. So the reason that they point in different directions is going to completely vary by every single individual, which is why strabismus is so hard to fix. It's not an easy fix. There's not like okay, here's your answer. Even for surgeons, there's a lot of guesswork involved because they're trying to figure out, you know, how is the brain going to respond to this? It's so much more complex than just moving the eyes to be straight. Same with vision therapy. What works for one person isn't going to work for the next person. So I like to think of it like an electrical system. You guys probably don't know this about me, but this house that I'm sitting in, I helped build. Kind of proud of it. Me and my husband and my dad built this house, and one of my main jobs was that I put in all the electrical work, right? So like this light switch right here, I put that in. Kind of proud of myself. And so I'm going to I promise this is going to come back to strabismus, but I'm going to basically give you a quick overview. Here's my beautiful picture, my drawing that I did, so that you could kind of see. So when you're putting in an electrical system, you have the box where the light goes, right? There's like a box in the wall with a light switch. And from there, you connect wires that go through the wall. So you've got these wires going through the wall that go up to where you want the lights. So you could have one switch that goes to 10 different lights and you just have a wire to each light, or you could have a one switch to one light. So for this example, we're going to have one light switch that has wires going to 2 different lights. And this is a lot like your brain and your eyes. You've got the light switch is your brain, right? Your brain is telling and then the light bulbs are your eyes, and then the wires are your nerves that go between your part of your brain that controls your eyes, and then there's nerves that go to each of your eyes. And so with strabismus, what happens is something in the system is broken. So if you're ever, in your house, I'm sure this has happened, and one of the light switches starts flickering. Sorry, not with switches. That would be really scary. But if one of the light bulbs starts flickering, something's wrong, right? But you don't know exactly what's wrong. You have to kind of troubleshoot. Well, the brain is really similar with strabismus, right? You've got your brain and you've got the nerves and you've got your eyes, the light bulbs. But if one of the eyes isn't pointing in the right direction, it's like a flickering light. You don't know, it could be the eyes. It could be a problem with the actual eyes. It could be a problem with the nerve, and it could be a problem with your brain. And sometimes with strabismus, it can be a combination of all three. But just like if you have a flickering light in your kitchen, you have to troubleshoot. Sometimes you can change the light bulb and that does it. But sometimes you have to mess with the connections or replace the wire which unfortunately you can't do in your brain, but you can't I don't think you can replace a nerve. I don't know, I'm not a doctor. I don't think that's possible. Um, but there's a lot that you can do, and so the first step for strabismus is figuring out where you've got your problem. Is it, did you have an accident and one of your eyes needs to be surgically fixed? Maybe. Is one of your muscles weak? Could you've got some actual problems with like the muscles and the way that your eyes move? That could be possible. A lot of times it's a problem with the brain and the brain's connection to the eyes. And the brain just doesn't know how to use both eyes together. And so instead of having these two eyes that are like flickering, it just turns one eye off. Like, let's just turn that one off so we don't have to worry about double vision or visual confusion. And so usually it starts in your brain and then it kind of spreads. And so then once this eye is turned off, it gets weak and it becomes that flickering light bulb that, your eye can't track, your eye can't see clearly. That's, amblyopia is when one eye just is super weak. Even if you put on glasses, it's still blurry. Super frustrating. I know, but that's how I felt. So I hope this isn't too confusing. Let me know if I'm losing you. But um strabismus is all about getting all of the areas, and you can't really do much with the nerves, unfortunately, but um, getting the brain to be a good control center that knows how to use both eyes, and getting both of your eyes to be functioning well, like muscles and the focusing and all of those parts of the brain. So, how do you fix it? What are the ways to fix it? Um, there's a lot of different things that you can do to improve the whole system. So, one amazing way is vision therapy. Vision therapy is mostly the brain, right? It's fixing those connections and teaching the brain how to use both eyes together. So, there's a lot of different exercises and things that you can do that will train your brain to take what both eyes are seeing and put it together and create depth, right? That's all happening inside the brain. There's also things you can do with vision therapy where it's improving just like the basic function of your eyes so that both eyes are even and able to like work really well together. And then so that's vision therapy. It's kind of like the physical therapy part of fixing the system is making sure that the brain can make all the right connections and physically they're doing good. Okay. Sometimes you do vision therapy and you might have started with, if we're back to the light analogy, with one eye is on and one eye is off, right? And you might do vision therapy. This is what happened with me. I did vision therapy for like a year and a half, and I got it to the point where it was going like this. My left eye worked all the time, and sometimes my right eye worked, and sometimes it didn't work. It was awesome. When they both worked and I saw 3D, it was like, oh, it's so amazing. And then it would turn off and I would go back to one eye vision and then two eyes or some distances. And it was just really hard because my eyes, I couldn't keep them straight. It was like a flicker. And so I ended up getting surgery because surgery, it's like getting a new light bulb, right? Not really. You're not like getting a whole new eyeball. It's like not a perfect analogy, but it's similar enough. You get what I'm saying. You get that eye in the right position, and it's a lot easier to keep them both on at the same time. I still have a little flickering, but I see with depth so much more than I did before because now, we've helped fix some of that physical component. So now it's easier for my brain to use both eyes at the same time. So surgery is kind of just fixing that physical part. The surgery is not going to change your brain. It's not going to make your brain know how to use both eyes, but it's like getting a new light bulb. It's like, okay, now we're like lined up and ready to go. Or maybe just like rewiring the light bulb. I don't know. This analogy is not perfect by any means. Okay, other things that can help the whole system be better. The way you eat. I know people think this is like silly, but it has made a huge difference because when you are eating super nutritious foods and not a ton of sugar that's inflaming your brain and your nerves, your whole system works better. Your brain functions at a higher level, your nerves function at a higher level, your eyes and muscles can function at a higher level. So that is a huge deal. Same with like exercise. I am not great at exercise, so I can't like brag about that, but I'm sure it would help, right? All that oxygen flowing through your system. Um, There's really simple, like, eye relaxation exercises that can kind of relax the whole system, and I refer to that as, like, the Bates method. So, that's like closing your eyes and letting your eyes rest. Those things are all helping each part of your visual system be better so that it's easier for your brain to use both eyes, easier for both eyes to stay on and engaged at the same time. So that's like the basic overview. You have to fix the whole system or else it's not going to last. A lot of people get surgery and they're like, "Why didn't my surgery last? Why isn't this like helping and why, did it only last for 6 weeks instead of, years in my whole life?" And it's because you fixed the new light bulb, but you didn't fix the electrical back in the back. You didn't fix the brain and teach the brain how to use both eyes, and so the brain just keeps moving those eyes apart or moving your eyes together. And so surgery can definitely be a great part of the healing, but if you want both of your eyes to work together, unless they've worked together before, it's probably not gonna happen for you. Um, I wanna make sure that there's nothing else that I wanna talk about. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I could go on. If you go to my website, strabismussolutions.com, there are a ton of resources about more details about strabismus surgery and vision therapy and what they are. But for now, I think I'm gonna just stop there. Are there any questions? I don't know if this is working or not. Is there anybody someone has a question mark, but no questions? Hmm. Okay. I'm just making sure. Sorry, I've not done a YouTube live before, so I wanna make sure that I know how to do this. Okay. So, if you have any questions, a couple people just got on. If you have any questions, just type them into the comments, and then it'll pop up, and I can answer any questions that you have about, how I was able to get my eyes to be straight. One question that I get all the time is about eye exercises. So, a lot of people are wondering, can I just do eye exercises to fix my vision? And yeah, I mean, that's basically what vision therapy is eye exercises, but there's not just one exercise that's going to fix everything. So, um, a couple of my favorite eye exercises I think of, like, exercises as you've got these, like, 3 tiers. You've got, like, the basic foundational exercises that are, like, building just, like, your basic eye function. And then you've got the ones in the middle, those are building fusion. That means, like, teaching your brain to use both eyes at the same time. I sometimes refer to this as, like, putting things in the same room. Like, what this eye is seeing and what this eye are seeing are overlapping. Maybe not exactly lined up, and then getting to the point where they do line up. And then you've got the top level, and that's the stereopsis, and that's where both eyes are working together, lined up exactly, and you've got depth you can see with depth. So, favorite exercises. I'm gonna go through my favorite ones in each category because this is a question that somebody asked me. They couldn't be here. So, you have the basic foundational exercises. My favorite exercise is it sounds so silly, is you just take a pen, so you could do this right now. You get a pen and you just watch it with your eyes. And you can do this with one eye if you've got a really weak eye, this is definitely something that you want to probably do with each eye individually. So you watch the pen and then here's the fun part. You close your eyes and you keep watching the pen. So my eyes are going to be closed, but I'm going to visualize the pen moving through the air and try to keep tracking the pen. Now, it's funny for me, I try to do this and I start like doing weird things with my mouth, trying to get my eyes to move while my eyes are closed. It's really challenging, but it can help you develop so much eye control. This is what I do every night when I'm like laying in bed trying to fall asleep. I'm doing these tracking, and you can do the same thing with like forward and back. Can you make your eyes look closer and further away while your eyes are closed? So that is something that is so foundational, is being able to visualize and feel where your eyes are in space even when your eyes are closed. So that would definitely be like my favorite type of basic foundational exercise. So just watch the pen with your eyes open, and can you move your eyes really smoothly? And then close your eyes. Then I can't do it without moving my mouth. And watch the pen again, moving in all these directions. It's really hard to do near and far. So that's my favorite foundational. And then an exercise that I love for that middle range of getting both eyes working at the same time. All the red and blue and glasses or red and green exercises are really fun. You've got like amblio play, and I've got a bunch of PDFs that I sell on my website that are really fun. So I love those ones for fusion. But one that I is so simple is you just get a piece of paper. You can do this right now if you want. You get a piece of paper and you just draw a circle on it. And then you let's see, what do we wanna do? You get anything that is, like a little something small, like a sticker on the wall or a letter. I'm gonna look at my camera, and you put this little circle in front of one eye, and then you look at the camera with your other eye, and can you get it so that both eyes are it's like mixing. So what I can do is this circle goes around my camera, so I can kind of see both of them together. Sometimes you have to shake it a little bit. You can try it on different eyes. Oh yeah, that one's way easier. Yep. So, anyways, you hold this up against your eye like this, and you're looking at something. So your left eye is looking at a circle, your right eye is looking straight forward, but your brain can combine it and put the two together. So the circle appears to be around, for me, my camera, or for you, a light switch across the room. And so that's a really fun one. That gives you a lot of feedback about whether both of your eyes are working at the same time. So I learned that one from David Cook, and he's like, the best, and an optometrist who is super awesome at treating strabismus from Texas. So if you're from Texas, go to David Cook. He's awesome. And then for stereopsis, I think my favorite exercise is one that you have to do in the office. There's so many though. I love like virtual reality, and like vivid vision is really great for getting both eyes working together and like getting that depth. And then um they have these rings. Let's see if I can find one. Okay. They have vectographs. So it's like this. Oh, there's a bad glare. Okay, so you've got these two cards, and there's a circle on each of them. And then you wear these glasses, and well, there's a string. When you're wearing the glasses, the left eye can see one of the circles and the right eye can see the other circle. It's like they're polarized glasses. So one is like up and down and one side to side. And while you're doing this, if as you move the cards apart, then the ring actually appears to be floating in front of the screen or behind the screen, or sorry, behind this plastic thing. So anyways, in the vision therapy office, my optometrist has one that is on a projector. So it like takes up the whole wall, and I can stand in the middle of it. And I love that one. It works so well for helping me get both of my eyes working together and seeing depth at the same time. So that's a favorite one for stereopsis. Okay, let's see if there are any questions. Okay, Christina is wondering, how much vision therapy do you do a day or a week? How long did it take for you to notice an improvement? So my goal is to do about 30 minutes to an hour a day, 5 days a week of really concentrated vision therapy exercises where I'm looking at the homework sheet my optometrist gave me. He gives me like exercises to work on every week, and I'm like going through one after the other. So that's that's pretty standard for me. When my kids are off school, it's not as good. But then I do a lot of things throughout the day as well. Like just that I've incorporated, like the things I do before I go to bed with like eye relaxation and the tracking, or when I'm at a stoplight and I'm looking near and far and I'm switching my eyes. So there's certain things that I kind of do throughout the day, and then there's like my concentrated time. So that's the goal. I also have a 3D TV, and I try to watch one 3D movie a week. It's really good exercise for both of my eyes to get working together. How long did it take for you to notice an improvement? So I started actual, like, in-office vision therapy where I was, like, going, I think, every other week in May of 20 no, yeah, of May of 2019, and it was that summer that I was able to see it was actually this. and I was actually able to see depth with that for the first time. And I think it was like 10 or 12 weeks, and I'd been, like, patching and doing some things on my own for a while before that, but once I started the vision therapy, it started coming, oh, no, that wasn't the first thing. It was on a computer program called VTS4 in my optometrist's office. So, that was the first time that I actually saw 3D. So, it took a solid 12 weeks to see anything, like, to even get to the point where I could see double and then start combining. So, it took a long time, and I can't remember the timeline, maybe 4 or 5 months was the first time that I saw 3D in real life, which was really cool. It was a flock of birds was the first thing I ever saw in real life that was 3D, and it just, like, tears, it was